Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to being here and being now. A special occasion. Any occasion that we're being mindful, being present is a special occasion. Connecting with the present moment in a more conscious, direct way, helping us to feel more alive and alert to life. So certainly this day, special in three significant ways. Firstly, that this day is a celebration of what is called Vaisakha Puja. It's a Buddhist term, Vaisakha Puja, from the ancient Indian language of early Buddhism, which is a very significant Buddhist term and also Buddhist day. It represents the day on which the Buddha was born, 2,567, and actually more than that, he died 2,567 years ago, so plus 80 years ago he was born on the full moon in May, and then his full enlightenment, realizing full complete spiritual enlightenment on the full moon in May, 35 years after his birth. And then 45 years after that, after 45 years of teaching, he passed away, died, and so that now is then 2,567 years ago. And though the full moon in May has been celebrated ever since, every year around the world, and more so than ever now around the world, because as Buddhism moves beyond certainly India, Sri Lanka, Burma, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, China, Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan and so forth, so Buddhism into the further regions of the world beyond Southeast Asia becomes something of an occasion. The full moon in May, Vaisakha Puja. So certainly today, and usually it's the Sunday around the full moon, because the full moon is actually the 22nd of May this year. It does change every year, depending upon the full moon as to what date it actually is. But certainly around the world today, there will be monasteries, temples, retreat centers, homes that are all celebrating this particular occasion, the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and passing. So certainly for us here, having a meditation retreat day, a great day to celebrate the big guy's birthday. Secondly, the second occasion is a retreat day. So great to see many familiar faces and some new faces too for our usually monthly meditation retreat day here at Ratanagiri at Farrants Hill. It's wonderful to be able to have this space here to share together with other people, like-minded people like yourselves, aligned to practicing mindfulness, developing that through meditation, and finding inner peace and joy, particularly aligned to the Buddha's path of practice, practicing Dharma and realizing truth and freedom. So certainly a great opportunity for us to be here and in this shared occasion. And certainly I hope that this day as our retreat day is something that becomes an ongoing practice, perspective, an approach to how we can engage our life, generally with mindfulness and wisdom, with care, compassion, sense of really actualizing and emphasizing the wonderful aspects of being alive as a human being with that potential for great clarity, peace and freedom. So the retreat day is a mini model of how we can extend some of these appreciations, perspectives, practices into our mainstream regular life, which also becomes our gift to others as well. The world needs more people that are mindful and meditative. particularly this time. So that the third occasion, as many of you are aware, is celebrating my birthday, which for whatever reason happened to be around the full moon in May. My parents got together and I don't think they worked it out like that, but happened to come along around the full moon in May. The actual date is the 20th, because I was born at 1:40 a.m. in the morning, which is on the night of the 19th, which is today. But in Western culture, that's seen as after midnight, so it's the next day. In Eastern cultures, the day begins at dawn. So in the East, it's the 19th, in the West, it's the 20th. And I had probably for some years thought about, okay, one day I'll probably turn 60. I wonder how I'll celebrate my 60th birthday. And over time, you hear about other people, how they celebrate their 60th birthday. They go for a holiday somewhere, or invite a lot of people for a big party. All the relatives come in, and all the friends, and people that have known them for years come, and or maybe it's at a sort of a club or a pub. Maybe someone goes on a balloon ride for their birthday. But I thought, okay, well, how will I celebrate my 60th birthday? And I thought, well, how I like to have special occasions is shared with other like-minded people in the context of meditation and Dharma practice. So, hey, we'll have a retreat day. So here we are. So again, a great occasion to be here and to celebrate my birthday with people such as yourselves. And I actually got an email last night from a woman who's I've known now probably for about nearly 30 years. She's an older woman. She's probably in her 70s now. And she says, "Dear John, 20 years ago, our group at Darling Point," because I had a meditation group before here down in Darling Point and also in North Sydney, "had the honour and pleasure of celebrating your 40th birthday. The years have passed so quickly, relentlessly in fact. Now it is my pleasure to wish you well on your 60th birthday, John, to reflect on the years and the changes that have brought to you, to me and to the world. You taught us the Dhamma, the truth of impermanence, and the many invaluable precepts to help us develop wisdom and live a good life. It is again time to celebrate the years with your close associates, your students, and of course, your wonderful partner, Hannah. Thank you, John, for the meaning you have brought to me through your teachings and inspiration. I'm well in mind and body. Sid, a husband at 92, is moving gently and calmly towards his last period of life, surrounded by love and supported with compassion by our family. Jacqueline as well, is well, continuing to live mindfully and grow spiritually. Enjoy the celebrations and the years ahead. John, I'm thinking of you with metta," from Marcel. So it was nice to sort of receive that and to be reminded of the 40th, which again was celebrated with meditation group. So here we go again. Let's see where we're at in another 20 years. Hopefully we're all here. But if not, that's okay as well. So today, again, a meditation day, a mindful day, a day to be more conscious and present, maybe more conscious and present than we usually are. So emphasizing, exercising, developing that quality of mindfulness, the Buddhist word sati, which helps us to connect with the present moment in a special way. And in a way, it enhances our connection and quality of life by coming to our senses, being more aware of seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching and feeling, and also noticing our thinking as well in a more conscious way. And particularly developing this possibility of retreat. So as I've mentioned many times, a retreat is a retreat from the ways of the world, worldly issues, worldly concerns, what the Buddha called worldly dhammas. Worldly dhammas with a small d, so phenomena as opposed to capital D, truths. And the worldly dhammas are gain and loss, being caught up in gain and loss, happiness and unhappiness attached to those things, or rejecting the unhappiness, praise and blame, fame and non-fame. The world revolves around those phenomena. So moving the mind away from that, retreating, and certainly this is like a physical retreat away from where you might otherwise be on a Sunday, your usual sort of spaces that you engage. So retreating to this physical place, but also more than that, it's retreating mentally, psychologically, emotionally from the worldly issues, from roles and responsibilities, and with those roles and responsibilities comes concerns and issues and frustrations and disappointments, achievements, goals, yes, but also a lot of thinking. So most of our thoughts tend to be around ourselves in a particular role, whether it's the professional role, partner role, colleague role, social role, role as a sibling or a son or daughter. So to be able to take a break from those roles and to just be. If you want to have a role, be a meditator. I'm in my meditator role today. I'm in my mindful role. Or even to let go of that as well, because that comes with limitations, expectations, anticipations. I'm a meditator, I should be doing this, or should be doing that, or gaining this, or realizing this. But even if you want, let go of even being a meditator. Just being awareness in the present moment, noticing what's happening in a calm, objective, receptive, attentive way. And particularly in the context of meditation, just noticing an in-breath, nothing more. Noticing an out-breath, nothing more. Keeping it really simple, pure, peaceful, which is really what meditation is about. It's not getting caught into sorting ourselves out, working out our sort of ancient history, resolving problems and things. The problems are more likely to resolve in our life if we engage from that calm, clear mind, having developed that through our meditation. So certainly today is a lot about our meditation practice on retreat, and the retreat in itself is then a movement towards something else, because as soon as we're moving back from something else, we're moving towards something else. And what we're moving towards is that clarity, that calm, that awareness, that discernment, moving towards peace. And that becomes a possibility, enabling that for our day. And as I often do with our retreat days, giving it a particular theme or an approach that just sort of lends a bit of reflection or orientation to help sort of create a context for our meditation today. So the theme for today is meditations and reflections on mind, life, care. Mind, life, care. A number of weeks ago, before I put it out that would have this as a theme, Christy, who's my admin assistant, she's not here today, said, "Oh, so John, what will you have as a retreat theme?" And I thought, gosh, what will I have? And I just, my mind went blank, but then the thought came up, mind, life, care, which in a way I feel is appropriate, because the whole of the Buddha's teachings are really about the mind, understanding the mind, clarifying the mind, purifying the mind, developing the mind, liberating the mind. So it's about the mind, and certainly caring for the mind. The mind is the most, in a way, the important thing. If you lose your mind, then that's sort of like you've lost everything. So it's really important to look after, to care for our mind. And part of the way of caring for our mind is to care for our life. So life care. we don't care for our life, then that's not going to support the mind. A lot of how the mind is a result of how we're living, how we're engaging, what we're doing, who we're engaging with, various activities and so forth. So really being able to care for our life, and certainly today as an example of how to have a mindful, careful life in terms of, yes, what we're thinking, mind, the mind states that we have, the emotions that we have, the moods that we have, but then also into speech, how we're engaging, mindful speech, and then also into actions and interactions as well. So engaging our life in a mindful, careful way. So looking after our life care, so mind care, life care, and they both support each other. The more we're looking after our mind, then the more we're going to even maybe choose particular things in the context of our life. I could do that, but that's probably going to disturb my mind, distress my mind, so I'm going to choose to do something different. So choices that we make to look after our mind and then look after our life. So there's a reciprocity that occurs in terms of care there. But then even care, mind care, life care, care. So caring for even how we care. It's a problem when people don't care. Not so much being carefree. Carefree means like I'm free from worries and troubles. Not I'm free from caring. I don't care. Careless. But more caring, even caring for the possibility of care. It's important to care. If we don't care about anything, then that becomes a life that's not really worthwhile. A life that doesn't have mindfulness or even respect or positive connections. And so care becomes a fundamental quality that really makes us human. Caring for others, caring for ourselves, caring about what we think and do, caring for how we engage in the various relationships, which includes work and so forth. And even caring not just what we care for, but how we care. Do I care enough? Could I care more? Do I care too much? That leads to maybe caring fatigue, caring burnout, so even compassion fatigue. So how do I care? Not just what do I care for, but how do I care? How do I express that care? Maybe even how does my care show? What's the response of the way in which I care? And even sort of our homes or even our possessions will display how they are cared for. Someone that maybe has could be like their mobile phone, and you can see if they don't care for their mobile phone, it's also it's cracked and the cover's all sort of falling off it, and it's dirty and it hardly works, and so things will display how they are cared for. Or one's wallet, or one's purse, or one's handbag, so that even other people can get a sense of how we are by seeing things that we have and use and how they are cared for. So care becomes a really significant thing in this sense, even as a reminder for ourselves. Oh, I need to care for my plants more. They need a bit more water. I'm not sort of attending to them enough, etc. I need to polish my shoes, which reminds me. Things like that. So care becomes something that's important, and even then to, as a further reflection, what is my intention behind the care? Am I caring to get some sort of praise? Am I caring because I feel guilty? Am I caring because I want something out of what I'm caring for? So to notice one's intention in caring. And care, which we'll look at a bit more later on, is also the quality of metta, the lovely Buddhist quality metta, which translates as friendliness, loving kindness, care, a caring concern, a really important quality that the Buddha spoke so much about to generate, to develop, to have. So these become three important aspects of our practice. So mind care, life care, caring for care, caring how we care. And as I've written in the notes that I've put together, they even in a way summarize the Buddha's teachings. Now, the Buddha's teachings is about looking after the mind, living a mindful, conscious life, and being caring for how we care. So that this day becomes an opportunity, possibility to emphasize, exercise, develop, enhance these three particular things. And then hopefully they will have more meaning for you, and we'll be able to continue on with this approach beyond this retreat day as a sort of a way of being, a modus operandi. My way of being into the world is mind care, life care, care. Over the course of our day-to-day, our session today, we'll have a tea break probably around, or we'll have probably a tea break at the lunch break, which will be around midday. Take an hour for lunch to connect and to share, and obviously wonderful people brought some food to share. So share lunch together. And certainly as a point with that, see if you can use the time at lunch not just to eat, but to share with other people. Ourselves as a group, as a community, what is called the Sangha community group, to connect with other people so that we don't feel so isolated, alone in our practice. I've met other people today that are also into meditation, mindfulness, Buddhism. And so use this occasion to develop some connections, some friendships even. I'll even, especially because it's my birthday, I'll put some music on through lunch. Does anyone know of Pat Metheny? Mm-hmm. Pat Metheny, a few people. So world famous guitarist. He's been around for several decades. And so I'll put some Pat Metheny music on. If you don't like it, just move further away. But just a bit of background, instrumental, sort of contemporary type music, just to create a bit of a mood, a feel, ease, birthday type of thing. And certainly, yes, I would feel happy if today everyone goes away having met a new person, maybe even made a new friend from our connection today. Certainly over the years, I've a lot of the people that I have as friends are people that I've met through retreat days, some that I've given myself, some that I've been to, retreat days that I've been to, and courses that I've done, and so forth. For example, Pip, who is online, Morning Pip. She's in Perth, Western Australia. I met her on one of my early meditation courses at the Buddhist Library in Sydney. And so she's been attending the retreat days and meditation courses, my meditation groups in Sydney for the last probably 35 years. So she's usually at these, but she's in Perth at the moment, doing some nursing consulting work around the place. I think there's also Heidi in New Zealand. There's Heidi. So met Heidi through Ajahn Tiradhammo, who was here last month, and Heidi spent time at Wat Pah, the monastery they lived in Thailand, and so forth. So being able to connect through sort of meditation and these sorts of sessions is a way of feeling not alone in our own practice, especially when we're at home. When you're there in the morning at 5:30 doing your own meditation, you'll know, I know there's other people that are doing that because I met them on the retreat day. So that we're not alone, a shared experience. So make the most of this day, connecting, sharing, particularly with the lunchtime session. We'll have periods of sitting meditation, walking meditation, as we usually do, to develop that momentum of mindfulness and presence. and then we'll finish up at 3 p.m. If anyone needs to leave beforehand, that's fine as well. So finishing at 3 p.m. And also just to note, the next retreat day will be on Sunday the 21st of July. So it's a bit of a 2-month break. And that also is the beginning of the 3-month Vassa retreat, which is a traditional retreat that is done throughout and around the world. Buddhist monastics do a 3-month retreat in their monasteries or retreat centers or wherever they've determined to be there for the 3 months. And again, that's been done for over 2,500 years as well. And each year, the last few years, we've done a Vassa retreat here with a monthly meeting on a Sunday. So full moon of July, full moon of August, September, October, which becomes actually four sessions. And again, with a particular theme for our meditation and focus. So that that's the next occasion as a bit of a gathering as well. And obviously, many of you are aware of the Thursday night meditation group. Here is a drop-in group every Thursday night. So plenty of occasion to continue to develop our meditation practice. Any other points to note before we settle in? Oh, yes. So with the name tags, we've all got name tags. If it is that you don't want to have a chat or talk to somebody at lunch, which may not be because you are antisocial, it might be just you need some quiet time, or you've got a sore throat. So just turn the name tag upside down so people know, oh, I won't talk to you. I can't even read your name anyway. And but certainly at lunchtime, find a space outside to sit and have a mindful lunch and share, connect with other people. And again, if you want to sort of have a quiet time, name tag upside down, that's fine as well, whatever works. Anything else? Maybe just with the toilet on the side there, which is the first door in from the back. If it says occupied, then obviously someone's in there. But if it's been a while, maybe just have a knock, because someone may have forgotten to turn the tag around. Even actually, if there's no one in there, it could be sort of left slightly open, the door slightly ajar, so we know that no one's in it, even if it says occupied. Good. So let's settle in with our meditation, first meditation, which is part of mind care. So just establishing our comfortable sitting position, making sure we feel comfortable. We'll be sitting for about 30 minutes. So setting up a comfortable sitting position, aligning our body with some degree of symmetry, balance, poise, helping to enable some inner mindful presence. Our eyes gently closed, helping to bring awareness within. And we can have our initial deep, relaxing, letting go breath. Nice deep breath sends a signal to our brain to release endorphins, to soothe the muscles, tendons, tissue of our body. And the outgoing breath is also a psychological symbol of letting go. So breathing out, letting go of roles and responsibilities, issues and concerns. moving the mind away from the ways of the world, the issues and concerns of self, having this conscious retreat, moving from the world, moving from self, the mind inclining towards peace, clarity, presence. And particularly as a way of exercising and strengthening mindful attention, mindful focus in the present, not being caught up in thoughts about what has been, thoughts about what might be, that all are to do with self and the world, but inclining the mind towards the present through connecting with each soothing, therapeutic breath. We can only ever feel the sensation of the breath that we're having, not the breath that's been, not the breath to come, this breath, this in-breath, this out-breath. And in the context of this fundamental, traditional practice, Buddha's recommendation to focus mindful attention on the breath, anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, helping to strengthen and develop the quality of the mind. So the mind's focused, attentive, allowing the mind to calm, be collected, composed, concentrated, which is also the foundation for seeing clearly, developing insight, vipassana, the arising of understanding through a calm, clear, powerful, focused mind. The first practice is developing that calm, clear mind, which is done simply by giving conscious attention to each breath and each moment. And as a lead into attending to the breath, just firstly being mindful of the body sitting here, getting a sense of our body sitting, bringing awareness to our body, this body, our body, the body, a human body, in the posture of sitting for the purpose of meditation, noticing some contact sensations, maybe feeling the feet connecting with the floor, feeling our feet, even the toes, maybe against the floor, mindful of that sensation. Bringing our awareness up to sense and feel the touch of our body, connecting with the chair, the cushion, meditation stool, just noticing, sensing, feeling. Then bringing awareness up to our hands and fingers, making sure they feel comfortable, adjusting them if we need to. Feeling the contact sensation of hands and fingers, maybe one hand resting in the lap against the other, or against the fabric of our clothes. Just noticing, sensing, feeling. Point of mindfulness, awareness of that sensation. And then bringing awareness up further to our face. Noticing our face, this large surface area of sensation, sensitivity. Maybe even feeling the cool air against our face. Just sensing, feeling, noticing. And as we refine our awareness, even to notice the light coming in through our closed eyelids. Even though the eyelids are closed, there's still light coming in, creating the perception of some degree of lightness, brightness, color, patterning, and blankness. So consciously looking forward, a forward focused gaze into the space in front through the closed eyelids, into that lightness, brightness, blankness. And not being distracted by background sounds, sounds in the room, outside the room, and particularly not getting caught into the internal sight or sound of thoughts, where all thoughts occur as a mental image that we see, a mental sound that we hear, but choosing to not engage into the activity of thinking, but rather using the mind to exercise and strengthen attention by focusing onto the naturally occurring sensation of our breath, wherever we feel it the most, but particularly at the nose or nostril area. Directing attention, sustaining attention at that point of sensation, to feel the inflow, outflow of each naturally occurring breath, and just allowing our body to adjust its breath and breathing through the course of the meditation, not controlling the breath, just allowing the body to breathe itself naturally, noticing and feeling each soothing, therapeutic breath, receiving, relinquishing, allowing, letting go. Feeling each breath, whilst also maybe looking into that lightness, brightness through our closed eyelids. And if you find it helpful to use a mental word in the mind in conjunction with each in-out breath, which is in a way a subtle thought, helping to maintain this focus, such words as calm on the in-breath, ease on the out-breath. Calm, ease, calm, ease, calm, ease. Exercising attention, developing focus, mental collectedness, composure, concentration, leading to deep inner calm and ease. Simply sitting, sensing, savoring the moment through each mindful breath, mind, body aligned in the present. And just noticing if the mind's got caught into some thinking, and if so, gently retrieving our attention and bringing it back to the breath, back to the present, exerting some right effort to stay with each breath in each moment, making the breath the most important thing, giving caring attention to each life-giving breath. Simply sitting, being, breathing, knowing, each mindful breath nurturing, nourishing mind, body, and being. Now just a few minutes left in our meditation, maintaining our focus, feeling and knowing each breath and each moment, developing calm, clarity, peace and presence. Now, just before we finish this meditation, inwardly reminding ourselves to try and sustain as much of this calm, mindful focus, keeping that going on into the ongoing moments, minutes, hours of the day and evening. And to end the meditation, just taking a deep breath and slowly opening our eyes to finish. So let's continue with our meditation into some walking meditation. So we've been blessed with a beautiful day, good weather outside. So if you'd like to find a space outside, maybe between 10-20 paces, where you can just mindfully pace back and forth, being aware of the lifting, placing of the feet, sensation of the feet connecting with the ground, and also be aware of the turning, and then mindfully pacing back again. So mindful walking meditation, which is a great way for strengthening our present moment attention. And after 30 minutes, I'll ring my small chimes, which sound like this. Many of you have already heard them before. And then we'll connect back in for going straight into the sitting meditation. If you prefer to sit longer, sit further now, that's fine. And then go out for a shorter walk, that's fine. But otherwise, having done 30 minutes of sitting, 30 minutes of walking, 30 minutes of sitting again, then we'll have some further reflections and some discussion. So walking out this side, out the front, out the other side of the house, down in the car park. Be careful of the track that goes, the bitumen track that goes between the car park and here. There's cars go up to a couple of neighbours up the road, so maybe not to walk on that. There's also space up behind the shed, green sheds up the back where you can walk. There's a nice bench up there if you want to sit down as well. So enjoy some space outside. So settling back down into our meditation, some sitting meditation, continuing with exercising, developing the quality of our mind, being mindfully attentive, present, exercising focus, feeling and knowing each soothing therapeutic breath, aligning mind, body in the present, enabling some inner stillness, inner silence, inner spaciousness. Each mindful breath bringing mind, body into harmony. Harmony, wholeness, peace and presence. Directing attention, sustaining attention, allowing the arising of a sense of ease, joy, contentment, as the mind becomes more collected, focused. Feeling and knowing each breath in each moment. Now, in the last few minutes of this meditation, just mindfully noticing the mind, the state of the mind, from having practiced this meditation, noticing the quality of the mind, the degree of alertness, attentiveness, focus, concentration, degree of calm, clarity, stability. Noticing whether the mind is alert or dull, focused or fragmented. Clear or distracted. Just sensing and noticing the quality of the mind. Maybe also noticing how we're feeling emotionally. Any particular emotion that may be there. A sense of joy, or maybe irritation, agitation, happiness, sense of well-being, delight. And also noticing how the body's feeling, maybe some discomfort, numbness, or a sense of ease and energy in the body. Or maybe even a tiredness in the body. Just sensing the disposition of our being from having practiced the meditation. And particularly if there are some healthy, wholesome, well-being states there, then reminding ourselves to sustain them, keep them going, particularly in terms of mind, mindfulness, calm clarity, mindful presence, keeping those going. And when you feel ready to end the meditation, just taking a deep breath and slowly opening our eyes to finish. The mind care. The Buddha saw 2,500 years ago the importance of the mind. He certainly was motivated to realize freedom, realize the end of stress and suffering. Motivation to actualize the highest goal of, let's say, psycho-spiritual potential, full, complete spiritual enlightenment. But after 6 years of various practices, various yogas, austerities, including fasting, he realized that it wasn't so much about the body, but about the mind. And the mind needed to be calm and clear, alert and energized, not dull and fatigued. looking after his body, because he hadn't for some time, particularly by being focused on asceticism and renouncing food, to the point he was nearly dead. He was so sort of emaciated, realizing that it's not about the body, it's about looking after the mind, and the body needs to be sort of well enough, healthy enough, comfortable enough to support a calm, clear mind, having energy and alertness of mind. And it was only after that that he then was able to develop and deepen his meditation to realize full, complete spiritual enlightenment. So he then spent the next 45 years teaching about the importance of looking after the mind, appreciating that most of our stress and suffering is because we don't care for the mind. Certainly there can be discomfort and pain in the body, but the suffering is more about the mind's approach to what's happening in the body or what's happening in terms of external things in life, and that we can actually cultivate and develop the quality of our mind, exercise and strengthen the mind, purify and perfect the mind as a possibility. So in many ways, the Buddha is seen as the first, and maybe even still the greatest psychologist, really understanding the mind and developing a great structure for supporting, developing, understanding, cultivating the mind that certainly has continued now for 2,500 years. And particularly the practice of meditation is about developing that, which is the reason that we're all here today. This isn't a yoga retreat, even though sitting can be an important posture for yoga, and especially if you're sitting on the floor, it's a yoga posture. But it's more about the yoga of the mind, strengthening the mind to be more able to be flexible, to be alert, to be attentive, receptive, objective, reflexive. So calm and insight, always about the mind. But certainly appreciating that the mind is the foundation for our whole experience. Everything that we have experienced in this lifetime has been through the mind. Even what goes on in the body, it's perceived into awareness, into consciousness in the mind. And that's where would put forth this statement: all states of being are determined by mind. It is mind that leads the way. Just as the wheel of the ox cart follows the hoof print of the animal that draws it, so suffering will surely follow when we speak or act impulsively from an impure state of mind. All states of being are determined by mind. It is mind that leads the way. As surely as our shadow never leaves us, so well-being will follow when we act with a pure state of mind. So being mindful of our mind, which includes thoughts, mental states, which then flow into emotional states as well. By being more attentive and aware of those, we're more able to guard and guide our mind and life in a helpful, meaningful, worthwhile direction for ease, for joy, for happiness. And certainly following on from that, how we live and lead our life does then affect the quality of our mind. As that statement says, when we do things in an unmindful way, unmindful, uncaring, even caught up into the three ills that cause all the stress and suffering: greed, various sort of elements of greed, anger, aversion, hatred, and then delusion, ignorance, misperception, misunderstanding, being caught up in self-centeredness. So greed, anger, ignorance. When we're acting from these three things, which are fundamentally states of mind, then we're likely to cause degrees of stress for ourselves or for others, now or at some other time. And appreciating that if we engage the opposite, the opposite of the three ills, in a way the antivirus, opposite of greed, generosity, liberality, opposite of anger, aversion, which is kindness, caring, love, compassion. Opposite of ignorance and delusion, confusion is wisdom, understanding. So being aware of that, we can then check in how am I engaging, what am I engaging from in terms of the mental state. Is it coming from greed, anger, ignorance, and maybe not necessarily gross greed, but desire, wanting, attachment, clinging, craving, etc. Unwholesome desire. There can be wholesome desires, wishing for someone's well-being, wishing for the happiness of others, but unwholesome or self-centered desires that then go on to cause stress, suffering for ourselves and others. So just checking in. Where am I coming from in that sort of action or speech? Greed, anger, ignorance, or generosity, kindness, wisdom. And in that, then those activities, engagements, then support both our mind and our life. Because things flow on from what we think, mental states, feeling states, speech, actions, behaviors, repetition of behaviors, cultivating a character, personality, conditioning into things further, into whole ways of being, relationships, dynamics that become, our life. So what is mental then becomes even physical, transforming the mental, mental into the material, the molecular, so to speak. Everything that we can see in this room as a result of someone's thought. I'll think about doing it this way. I'll think about designing that. I'll think about getting that. I'll think about doing it this way. So that the mind becomes manifest into the world. So very, very important, yes, to look after the mind, but also to see that what we do in the world, what we do in our life, then affects the quality of our mind. And certainly as people that appreciate meditation, it's about us setting up our life in a way that then supports the quality of our mind. A lifestyle that is healthy, wholesome, meaningful. A lifestyle that is meditative even. So life care. Both are sort of intimately connected. Now, our life is a result of our mind. The mind is a result of how we're living our life. It's sort of interflow. And for this, I have some questions in a minute. For this, there's a wonderful verse that's one of my favorites from the Buddha. And these verses that I've got on the notes today come out of the Dhammapada, which is a collection of verses that the Buddha spoke, sort of an utterance. Dhammapada is a collection of verses, and there's sometimes in print form they're just the verse. Sometimes they also have the story that was there as well, that on the occasion that the Buddha spoke the particular verse. And so there's this one here that's in a way sums up what we may see as a good life. Arogya paramalabha santutti paramang danang visasa paramanatnyati nibbanang paramang sukhang, which translates as, a healthy mind is the greatest gain. Contentment is the greatest wealth. A trustworthy friend is the best of kin. Unconditional freedom is the highest bliss. So in a way that sort of becomes like, wow, that's a life well led, that's a good life. Looking after our mind, having a healthy mind is the greatest gain. Obviously with that, we're not born with a healthy mind, so to speak. It's something which we can cultivate. It's a fundamental mind that certainly a baby would have, but cultivating that beyond the primal instincts that might be there. Contentment is the greatest wealth. So in how we live our life, the things that we engage with, having a sense of contentment. Because ultimately we know that things change, things pass. What's really important is that contentment. Then a trustworthy friend is the best of kin. Well, certainly a trustworthy friend comes from caring. So that we care, they care, developing that conscious caring relationship so that we can trust each other. And it may be a friend, or it may be a partner, but or a community, a collective. You could even say trustworthy friendship is the best of kin. And then unconditional freedom is the highest bliss. So there's certainly things in life that can bring bliss, maybe even quicker than developing a meditation practice. But certainly unconditional freedom, the mind, which is about the mind completely free. No conditions, no sort of conditions on that. The unconditional freedom, the mind completely free, enlightenment is the highest bliss, nirvana. And that certainly summarizes what can be the aspiration and potential for our life. All part of life care. This afternoon we'll talk a little bit more about care and caring for care. But in that context of protecting, preserving, looking after the mind care, particularly through meditation. Meditation is a more conscious of caring for our mind, not just in meditation, but outside of meditation. Having appreciated that through meditation we can allow the natural, true nature of the mind, inner stillness, silence, spaciousness, deep peace, calm, presence to occur. We want to protect and preserve that, and therefore we want to engage into our life in a way that's mindful and not distressing and disturbing the quality of our mind, because we have something that's precious. We want to look after and care for it. And in our life, as the Buddha pointed out, the importance of living in a wholesome way, morality, the Buddhist word sila, protecting, preserving the quality of our life and mind through morality, ethics, being sort of developing virtueness, important. And then also being wise in how we do that, wisdom. And this becomes a practice trinity, sila, samadhi, panya, morality, meditation, and wisdom. So they all sort of again flow together, and again to be able to be caring of ourself, of our being, mind, body, life in this process. So any questions or comments? Prue, you had a question?
You touched on it a few seconds ago. For me, my mind sometimes is my enemy. For me, the space beyond the thoughts, for me, is the awareness. In the awareness, my mind is cradled. So when you talk a lot about the mind, there is a part of me is saying, that's my monkey brain. That's the mind that I'm trying to quieten.
Yep.
So for me, without awareness, I am only the mind. So for me, my journey is about widening that awareness, because within that awareness, I get the flow, I get the intuition, I get the wisdom. And it's that balancing act.
Yes, yeah.
And I really appreciate being here today, because the more I do this in a group, I find it's more powerful than being alone.
Yeah.
So I thank you for that.
Good. Maybe it comes down to semantics. So mindful, I would say that that's awareness. So the true nature of the mind, awareness,
Correct.
which manifests stillness, silence, spaciousness.
Yeah.
Thoughts are in the mind. We'd say thoughts like the mental aspect, so mentality, but the mind is that spacious knowing awareness.
And one other thing, when I'm in my meditation practice, I find I stop breathing.
Hopefully not for too long.
No, I'd love to go longer, a little bit. But my question to you is, and I've thought about this, I believe it's the extension of that awareness. It's pleasant because I can feel the beating of my heart, and it gives me a deeper sense of peace. Until I become aware that I've stopped breathing, and then I go back up here. But is that normal to just for seconds, or you stop, your breathing becomes slower, and then you stop, and then you get this space of being where it's nice? So that's all.
Certainly that can happen, and that's fine. Particularly if we've let go of controlling, so the self senses let go because we're not thinking, and the body's just looking after itself. And certainly in samatha, calm, or samadhi meditation, concentration, there isn't a lot of mental movement happening, and therefore the brain body doesn't need much oxygen. There's just sitting still and maybe no thinking happening, so that the actual breathing can slow down, become sort of quite subtle, to the point where it feels like there's no breath happening. There may be very subtle, as long as you haven't blocked your nose, there may be very subtle breath happening, but we're not aware of it. So it does seem like we've stopped breathing. Or it may be that the body stops breathing, just doesn't need to. And the main thing is not to become distressed by it, because that can then cause the mind to move out of that deeper calm state into, oh, I've got a breathing, oh, that was, and maybe a shot of adrenaline as well. So that letting go, allowing the body to look after itself is fine. And we know that the body can be sustained for 2 or 3 or maybe 4 minutes without breath. As these free divers go down for many minutes without breathing. There's still sort of oxygen in the body. The body is still absorbing oxygen through the skin, air through the skin. But it is something which does happen at times, and the main thing is not to be distressed by it.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts, questions?
Yeah, I find sometimes when I'm meditating and focusing on the breath, and that's often the first way to get into it, that sometimes the focusing on the breath encourages you to really breathe more than natural. And I find sometimes I even start to feel like I'm slowly starting to over-oxygenate my blood, so I do stop breathing for a little while in a natural way.
Yeah.
And that's, I find that's really helpful. And you don't feel like you're having to breathe.
Yeah.
Breathing in and breathing out and letting go of that bit.
Yeah. And in that, Jonathan, also to mention that if at times the mind's got a lot of thoughts in it, so it's distracted or even dull, then we can consciously just hold the breath for a minute or so. And after a minute or so, the attention isn't going to thinking, wondering, worrying, planning and stressing and so forth, or it's not in this dull state. It's very alert and aware of the breath, because you've stopped breathing consciously, you're holding your breath, and that's a way of being very in the present moment. So as a bit of a technique.
Particularly on the out-breath, holding it there.
Out-breath?
On the out-breath,
Yeah.
Holding big lung through there.
Even more so.
Just sitting without any big lung full of air.
Ajahn Brahm, the meditation monk in Western Australia. He even says, if you're feeling a bit dull, then rather than focusing on the in and the out, focus on the out and the in. Or if you're doing walking meditation, you feel a bit dull, walk backwards. Alberto?
John, can I say something about taking care?
Yeah, yeah.
Taking care of what belongs to others has shown me very good lessons in life. Just taking care of objects or whatever, for example, taking care of my neighbor's pet,
As long as they're okay with that.
Yes, of course. And it has shown me, responsibility, and also by doing that, it becomes my own. Not in the sense of possession, but
Yeah.
in an organic sense, it becomes part of me.
Mm.
And I realize also, and I see that also, that by taking care of the Dharma and the Dharma practice, I can make it my own. It becomes part of my own being.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it shows me when I'm careless. For example, this morning when I came in, I just came in, dropped my donation in the basket, and I just kept walking. And then I realized how careless I was because I didn't acknowledge Justin, who was taking names, and the process that we go through every time we have a retreat. And so, I become aware of that carelessness also.
Yeah. And again, not that there was any bad intention in that, but it's just being not careful or mindful
Exactly.
of the process, the usual process.
That's right.
But nice way of you leading into that point about looking after the Dhamma, the truth, even particularly the Buddha's teachings. There's a saying that says those that care for or protect the Dhamma will have the Dharma care for and protect them. So that's, again, that reciprocity that occurs. And generally, whatever we care for is more likely to care for and protect us as well, even if it's the neighbour's pet. Is it a cat or a dog? A dog, right.
Well, in general, you basically by practicing this, taking care of what belongs to others, basically you become aware of things,
Yeah.
small details.
Mm.
Like when people come in and they just drop the cushion, and they sit on it and drop the keys, it's all this. I'm not criticizing and judging anyone,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
using this as an example. There's little things like that
Sure.
make a big difference. in life.
And certainly we're cultivating our quality of our mind, we're caring for our mind if we care for how we are caring. So the more mindful we are of doing things, and again some of those small sort of just ordinary things, by doing them carefully, we're developing our mindfulness, and then when we sit meditation, then the mind is more present to be there. Everything's connected. Susie?
I was just going to add for today for your theme that it's also important to be kind about our own caring too. So,
Good point.
yeah.
Yeah, not to beat up on ourselves, but to go, I wasn't so careful, I wasn't so caring of whatever.
Not to get caught
I need to be more caring, I can be kind and even considerate, even compassionate and forgiving of myself. For sure, yeah, good point.
I think there also has to be limits to care, because when you're caring, people lean on you, and people don't realise how much they take, and they don't consider that maybe you've got a finite
Exactly, yeah,
reserve.
yeah.
And sometimes I'm often in conflict in my own job because of care that I I give, am I causing more suffering? Or am I causing less?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of the time, the rescue that you give to avert the life-threatening scenario alleviates the fear, but often that event that you're preventing, surviving that allows something terrible to happen.
So that's part of caring for how we care, which is like not caring too much, not under caring, but not caring too much. So being wise, being careful of how we are being caring, so that we don't do too much, which then can affect ourselves or even others, and particularly in the context of care. What's important is the quality of equanimity. Equanimity is the fourth of the Buddha's 4 spiritual emotions. It's also number 10 of the 10 spiritual virtues, or paramita. And in that, it's the balance of compassion, I care, but also balanced or tempered with wisdom, so that we don't overdo it. Because certainly over-care, caring fatigue, compassion fatigue can become a problem, where we can end up wearing out, burning out. As I say to many health professionals, first give in before you give out, otherwise you burn out. And as well, in that there's the wisdom of appreciating that if we care too much, we can condition in others a conditioned helplessness, that they're not caring enough for themselves, because they think, oh, well, these other people care for me, and I don't need to look after myself or care for this or that in terms of myself, because they will do it, they will look after me. So we want to be careful of conditioning a helplessness and a dependency in others by over-caring. So it's the wisdom aspect that discerns, in this situation, okay, some care is required. Can I offer the care through my expertise or skill or the relationship? Maybe I'm a parent. Yes, I can. Is it appropriate? Which may be not appropriate. If the neighbour's wife comes over, or husband says, oh, can you care for me? And can you care for me? No, it's not my job. You need to talk to your husband about that. Or your wife about that. So it's about, it's responsibility. Sometimes it's not our responsibility to care for things. People need to find the right person. But if it is, yes, I have a responsibility. Can I care? Yes, I can do this, I can do that. To what degree? Okay, yes, to this degree, and also then know when to stop. Okay, now I need to let you look after yourself, or you to continue on with this, your homework, or fixing it up, so that the wisdom aspect's able to discern what's appropriate in many of these situations, whether it's as a healthcare professional, whether it's as a parent, some other work situation. Very, very important to have that wisdom, to be able to have that quality of equanimity and not sort of rush in because one wants to care and wants to sort of even relieve the suffering. Even our suffering is, I can't stand to see you having to do this yourself, or struggling with this, or in pain. So very important to be able to discern that. Otherwise, it can be lots of problems.
Sorry.
I'll just get Loretta.
Oh, thanks, Jane. Further to the wisdom part, can I have your thoughts around sitting with the non-self when you're caring? Because sometimes the attachment to the self can lead to the compassion, vicarious trauma, compassion fatigue. So could you kind of
Yep, sure. So most of the times we're caring as a someone. I'm caring for you, and I can be helpful in this way, and I feel sorry for you, whatever it might be. So there's a sense of identity there, and that's a limiting factor for the availability of energy. I'm so tired, I've been sort of worrying and caring so much all day. And that's one of the reasons why the Buddha, totally free from the limitations of egoistic self, was able to be so caring and give so much, because he wasn't coming through a sense of limitation of self. The mind had transcended that. So the more we're able to get the mind sort of free from coming from that sense of self, then there's more ease, there's less burden, there's more energy, there's more flow, there's more sustainability. But again, that's a challenge, because often we don't sort of experience that just freedom of flow of caring. There's tends to be a sense of me in there as well. But the more we practice meditation, there can be that sense of just flowing, knowing, caring, awareness. There's caring, but there's no carer. There's just this flowing happening. There's a lovely saying that says, the sage does nothing, but nothing is left undone. Because the things that get done, yes, we call the person that's doing them a sage, but the sage isn't working as a sage, sort of doing it. I'm so tired, I've been doing my sage work all day. It's like there's just the wisdom and the flow happens.
Yes, thank you, because I wonder that sometimes people are not coming to actually see us as it's almost the essence of us. I don't know how to describe that, but they're not coming to see us as a person.
So they're coming for the qualities that we're able to embody, or the skill or knowledge that we may have. If we didn't have those qualities, skill or knowledge, then they maybe wouldn't be seeing us as in a therapeutic relationship, let's say.
So kind of like a container almost, rather than. Thank you.
And particularly being, and that's where being mindful of roles, so that roles are used, but the mind not becoming identified with the role. So that's then what can lead to the stress. So it's like the mind is that quality of knowing awareness, operating in the context of a arbitrary role with a certain designation, maybe even certain limitations, certain ethics that are there as well. So it's all sort of in a context, but the mind knows that it's just a role, even like a persona, the Greek word for mask, that's used in relating in the drama, but then can be let go of.
I think just being human is a role right there,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
And so I think the Buddha had that real like clarity around compassion's only useful if it's wise, and you have to have compassion for yourself first, because otherwise, no.
Well, that's right. Even like compassion for the mask or the persona, because it's a conditioned thing in itself, and it can get sort of weary and worn out or sick. So it's like care becomes that really important quality that needs to be sort of enabled and used, and especially to make both life, and even like caring for our life or the life that we have, the sense of self-identity that is used, caring for that so that it is sustainable, that it can be continued. Sally, get your question after lunch.
Well, it wasn't a question, it was more of a statement in terms of, it's all about your intention really. In terms of caring, and that awareness of what your intention is to me the essence.
Intention's everything. Yeah, that's how karma is created. So we'll have a mindful lunch. Find some space to sit outside, or you can, if you want to sit inside if it's too cold outside, and take some time to connect, share, have a chat with someone else, make a friend. I'll put a bit of background music on, and I'll chime the thing in about maybe 50 minutes or so. That brings us up to about 1 o'clock. Enjoy.
Thanks, John.
Good. So settling in for our afternoon session. Afternoons can be different from the morning, especially body can feel different, which then affects how the brain-mind feels or appears. So extra effort is required for the afternoon, so that we don't fall into mental dullness. Or maybe we can leave the lights on, just to keep everyone awake.
7-Eleven.
Ye of little faith, John.
Just to keep me awake. So for our afternoon, continuing with our mindfulness, our meditation, our sense of being on retreat, being meditative, particularly even finding a containment for the energy that's been engaged, even enhanced through connecting, sharing, talking, interacting with others. Lots of good energy there, and then also the good energy of some lovely food that we've shared together. So in a way, we could say that mind, body have been energized, but not time to get too dull and sleepy just yet. Wait till you go home for that. So we'll do some sitting meditation, about 30 minutes, then we'll go outside, do some walking meditation, come back in a bit more sitting, and then finish up with further reflections, questions before finishing for our day. So we've still got our online Zoom participants. So welcome back to the Zoom people, wherever you are, sort of across the country and even outside the country as well. So we'll settle in for our afternoon meditation, establishing our comfortable sitting position, aligning the body with some degree of symmetry, balance, poise, helping to enable some inner mindful presence. The eyes gently closed, bringing awareness within, and breathing out any stress, tension that may have been gathering, collecting over the last few hours, harmonizing, balancing that energy into calm alertness, mindful presence. Getting a sense of the body sitting, noticing how that feels, and even do notice the difference as to how it feels now as to earlier on in the day. Physical feeling, maybe more energy in the abdomen area, stomach for digestion. We may feel more relaxed, having relaxed into the day over the busy period of arriving here early this morning, developing that sense of ease and contentment, joy and well-being. And before bringing attention to the breath, our life-giving process of breathing, just sensing a few contact points, feeling the feet connecting with the floor, sensing and feeling that, helping us to feel grounded, feet connecting with the floor. Feeling our body connecting with the chair, cushion or meditation stool, helping us to feel supported, the support of the chair, cushion or stool. Maybe feeling the connection of our hands and fingers resting in our lap. A sense of one hand connecting with the other, that self-support, sense of connection to ourself, one hand supporting the other, or otherwise against the fabric of our clothes. Bringing awareness up to our face, sensing our face as we face up and face into life, ourself, our life, our mind life, with care, noticing our face, and also perceiving light coming in through the closed eyes, a sense of perception of light, the light of day through the closed eyelids, a lightness, brightness, or even just a blankness. And then bringing attention to notice the breath, noticing how the body is breathing, whether the breath is slow, medium or fast, whether it's deep or shallow, subtle or gross, easy or difficult to breathe. Just noticing even the temperature of each breath. And obviously the in-breath is going to be a different temperature to the out-breath. Noticing also how the breath makes us feel, the in as opposed to the out. Often the in-breath helps us to feel energized, the out-breath helps us to feel relaxed. Gently receiving and then relinquishing each breath. Allowing, letting go, receiving, relinquishing. What is maintained, what is constant is awareness. Awareness that becomes more focused, collected, concentrated, even free from the 5 hindrances, the mind free from the 5 hindrances, free from thoughts of desire, free from thoughts of aversion, the mind free from dullness, agitation, and doubt. Allowing the fundamental true nature of the mind, stillness, silence, spaciousness, manifesting as peace to occur. When it's free from those 5 hindrances, those things that hinder calm and clarity, desire, aversion, dullness, agitation, doubt. All aspects and elements of greed, anger, ignorance. So meditation is a purifying, a calming and cleansing of the mind into deep peace. Receiving, relinquishing, Each mindful breath, calm, ease, calm, ease, calm, ease. Continuing with our mindfulness into some walking. So if you do wish to keep sitting, do so. Otherwise, do some walking for about 30 minutes. Find a place in the sun to mindfully walk. And I'll ring the chimes for coming back in again. If you're feeling a bit tired, there's a jar of coffee out there. Help yourself, or some tea. So again, settling down into now with our mindfulness in the sitting posture, establishing our comfortable sitting position, allowing the mind to relax into the body, into the present, into here, now, knowing, attending to the present moment through each soothing, therapeutic breath. Gently receiving the in-breath and letting go, relinquishing into the out-breath. Developing our calm alertness, mindful presence, perceiving inner peace, peace beyond thinking, beyond thought and thinking, beyond self and other. Developing this inner quietness, quiet presence. Now, just before finishing this meditation, inwardly reminding ourselves to try and sustain as much of this calm, mindful focus, mindful presence, keeping that going on into the ongoing moments, minutes, hours of the afternoon and evening. And to end the meditation, just taking a deep breath and slowly opening our eyes to finish. In the last part of our retreat day, maybe some further reflections and questions or discussions around care, caring for the care, caring how we care. I think that what helps us to certainly remain human, maintain our humanity, maintain our, let's say, civility and connection to others, whether that other is a partner, child, parent, friend, colleague, neighbor, community, even country, even internationally, is this quality of care. It's when we cease to care, that's when the quality of the connection and the relationship starts to decay, diminish, disappear, dissolve. We can probably see that for ourselves in various relationships that we've had as past. Maybe there was a lack of care. The care might have been just spending time, email, give a call, connect. That gets less and less, and relationship ends up dissolving and ending. Or relationships develop and strengthen because there's care. We may meet somebody and there's a connection, a caring connection, listening, attending, and sharing. And the relationship develops with more connecting in that caring, heartfelt way, to the point where it becomes a lifelong connection. So it's the quality of care that is really, really important. And certainly in the care, it's about being both caring, which is more of a heartfelt connection, caring, and also careful, more of a mindful aspect. All sort of coming together with that sense of care. Care is being both caring and careful. Careful what we say, careful what we do, careful how we impose, careful what we do for others, as was discussed this morning, not overdoing it. And that's what helps to create relationship. When I talk to clients in my capacity as a psychologist about the importance of conscious relationship, maintaining conscious relationship, I talk about the 4 cornerstones of relationship being the 4 C's. Chemistry, that's how often relationships start, a bit of chemistry happening. One feels the chemistry. And the chemistry allows a sense of connecting to create the second foundation, cornerstone, which is communication. There's a lot in communication, getting to know somebody, getting to understand someone, getting to appreciate someone. Good communication is really, really important. When there's a lack of good communication, which includes both communicating, because sometimes we don't argue, we say nothing. We don't talk to each other. No communication. So communication is about connecting, but also connecting in a caring way. So the communication is very, very important, and that needs to keep on going to have a sense of, I understand this person, I know where they're at, they've expressed to me what they're feeling, tired, upset, happy, whatever. One knows where one stands. Difficult to understand where you stand if you don't know what's going on with the other person. So communication, a really, really important element. And then there's a commitment. The third cornerstone is commitment, because there's the fundamental chemistry to begin with, there's the communication, understanding, and there's a sense of I can commit to this, I can be with this, in this relationship with this person. Commitment. And the fourth is care. So ongoing care. Really, really important. Relationships can often, again, dissolve because people feel taken for granted. There's this lack of care there. So very, very important to maintain, sustain, keep the care going. And in that sense of care, it's caring for ourselves, being careful with ourselves as well. So careful caring of ourselves, looking after ourselves, mind, body, and then also being caring and careful in how we relate to the other person. And certainly it's what nourishes our being. We don't live in isolation. We need others, and not just someone at home with us, but people that we connect with, care with, professionally, socially, just out and about, on the road, in the shops. The world would be a much better place for human beings, animals and plants, if people cared more. A lot of the issues and incredible sort of problems that human beings have, even sort of globally, internationally, between countries, is because there's a lack of care. Caring for the quality of being a human being. Hey, we're all human beings here. You might look a bit different to me, whether it's the colour of the skin or the height or different language, but we're human beings. So more care would resolve a lot of the issues that we experience. And in that as well, it's by caring, we develop a dynamic, even a synergy, same energy, same ergi energy, synergy of energetic expression, flow of care that is nourishing, both for the carer, for the one that's receiving the care, that then sort of sends that back. A wonderful dynamic is enabled. And that's, certainly all part of the possibility of our humanity. The more we practice meditation, the more we're able to notice the unhelpful thoughts that come up in the mind, let them go, exercise more the wholesome thoughts and states, enable them into our way of being, engaging, relating into our life. Our life is enhanced, our quality of care is enhanced. So in a way, if we really care for ourselves, we need to care for others. By caring for others, we're caring for ourselves. That's the flow on. So it becomes even an attitude of mind, attitude or state of mind. I care. I care. There's a little story that I remember from hearing it years ago from Petria King. Done a lot of work in the area of cancer, Quest for Life. She still has a centre down at Bundanoon, south of Sydney, Quest for Life Centre, and I used to connect with her a lot at different workshops and retreats and so forth, and through clients as well. And at one of the times I attended one of her sessions, she gave the story about the importance of attitude and the attitude of care She said there was a small village up in the hills somewhere, and there was a elderly chap that would retire, would go and sort of sit out just outside the village, lovely tree, there's a bit of a well there, and just watch people coming and going, travellers. And one occasion there was this traveller that was coming along and said to the old man, the elderly man, friend, I see you're probably from the village up ahead. I'm a traveller passing through. Tell me what sort of people are up ahead. And the traveller said to the old man, well, great people, lovely people, wonderful people down the valley there. I love people. I care about people. That's why I like to travel around, meeting different people, creating friends. Wonderful, wonderful experience. And the elderly man by the well said, well, you find them much the same up ahead. Great, wonderful, here we go. Later on, another traveller came through and said, you, up there, you, old bloke, old man, tell me, what are the people like up there? I'm a traveller, travelling around. What are the people like? And the elderly gentleman said, well, let me know, tell me what you think of the people down the valley there. And the guy said, oh, terrible, I don't like people, that's why I travel. I sort of move around and keep away from sort of developing any friendships, just keep on moving, don't particularly like people. And I sensed they didn't like me, so I didn't like them anyway, so it doesn't matter. And the old man said, well, you find them much the same up the hill. So the attitude that we have is really important. So an attitude of care, and we speak about an attitude of gratitude, but an attitude of care in how we relate, interface, experience, connect, share, nourishing our being. The Buddha gave a verse for people to chant, let's say, to reflect, to recite, repeat, to meditate on, about care, about caring. It's called the Karaniya Metta Sutta, the verses on kindness and care. The story goes that the Buddha asked a group of monks to go and stay in a forest, have a retreat. And the monks didn't really want to go because they said, oh, that forest, it's got lots of creatures and big creatures, snakes and things, and we've heard that there's spirits in the forest as well, and we don't like that, and can we stay here in the monastery? No, there's a forest, go and meditate. So the monks went into the forest and tried to meditate, but they felt afraid, they felt distressed, they felt angry, these animals, they're making so much noise, and these insects and these spirit beings in the forest are probably trying to haunt us. And so they left and went back to the Buddha and said, sorry, Venerable Sir, we can't stay there. We don't like the forest, I don't think the forest likes us. The Buddha said, no, you need to go back. But before you go back, I'll teach you the verses on kindness, metta, and you can recite those, reflect upon those, meditate upon these, and see what happens. So they learnt the verse and then went back and stayed in the forest and reflected and recited and embodied the verse, and all the beings were happy and friendly, and they had a lovely retreat, and all was well. Does anyone know the Karaniya Metta Sutta? Yeah, a few people. I'll chant the Pali, and then I'll recite the English. And this is a verse that I learnt when I was 17, when I first started monastic life. It was part of the chanting that we did at Wat Buddha Dharma down in Sydney. So in Pali, Karaniyamata kusalena yantang santang padang abisamechang. Sako uju cha sahuju cha suwacho cha samudu anatimani. Santusako cha subaro cha apakicho cha salahukawuti. Sandindriyo cha nipako cha apagabo. Kulesu ananugidho. Nacha kutang samachare kinchi yena winyupare upawadayung. Sukino wa kemino hontu sabe sata bawantu sukitatang. Yekechi panna buttati tasawa tawarawa anawasesa. Dikhawa ya mahanta wa majima rasaka anukatulang. Dikhawa ye cha di adita ye cha dure wasantia vidureng. Utawa sambawe siwasa besata bawantu sukitatang. Naparoparang nikubeta natimanyeta katachinang kinching. Ya rosana patikasanya nanyamanya saduka micheyang. Matayata niyang putang ayusa eka putamanuraking. Ewampisa babuttesu mana sambhawaya aparimanang. Metancha sambaloka saming mana sambhawaya aparimanang. Udang adocha tiriancha asambadang awerang asampatang. Titancharang nisino wa sayano wa ya watasa vigatamidong. Etang sating aditeyang. Brahma metang viharang itamahu. Titincha nupagamang. Silawadasanena sampanong. Kamesu veneya gedhang nahijatu gabasayang punaretiti. The translation is, what should be done by one who's skilled in wholesomeness to gain the state of peacefulness is this. One must be able, upright, straight and not proud, easy to speak to, mild and well content, easily satisfied and not caught up in too much hustle and bustle, and frugal in one's ways, with senses calmed, intelligent, not bold, not being covetous when with other folk, not even doing little things that other wise ones blame, and this the thought that one should always hold. May beings all live happily and safe, and may their hearts rejoice within themselves, whatever they may be with breath of life, whether they be frail or very strong, without exception, be they long or short, or middle-sized, or be they big or small, or thick, or visible, or invisible, or whether they dwell far or they dwell near. Those that are here, those seeking to exist, may beings all rejoice within themselves. Let no one bring about another's ruin, and not despise in any way or place. Let them not wish each other any ill, from provocation or from enmity. Just as a mother, at the risk of life, loves and protects her child, her only child, so one should cultivate this boundless love to all that live in the whole universe, extending from a consciousness sublime, upwards and downwards and across the world, untroubled, free from hate and enmity. And while one stands and while one walks and sits, or one lies down, still free from drowsiness, one should be intent on this mindfulness. This is divine abiding, here they say. But when one lives quite free from any view, is virtuous, with perfect insight won, and greed for sensual desires expelled, one surely comes no more to any womb. The verses on kindness and care, Metta Sutta. So our work continues. Our work, our practice, developing our perspective, our approach to ourself, to others, to life, and particularly maybe in the context of mind-life care. So the theme for our meditations today, looking after, looking into, caring for our mind, especially through meditation, being mindful, looking into and caring for our life by looking after our mind, having a wholesome, healthy, mindful way of being, relating into our life, and all that that includes. And particularly being mindful of how we care, what we care for, why we care, how we care, caring to care. So these three elements come together as a way of being, a way of relating, a way of connecting, a way of experiencing life, mind, life, care. And certainly for myself as just ending reflection, becoming the age of 60, at least the body, that sense of seeing that much of my life it's been about these three things: looking after the mind, having a wholesome, healthy life, and caring. And certainly hope that things continue in this same way. Very much have cultivated a life and a lifestyle here to be able to fulfill my sort of mission or aspiration to live a good life and be helpful and supportive of others. And certainly even just what we have here today is a coming together, a culmination of all of that. So being able to share myself and share what I've learned, understood, share my practice, share my perspective with others like yourselves, and that continues so that we develop a community of people that are aligned to wisdom and truth and meditative calm and insight as a way of living into our life and being an example to others, to humanity as a possibility. So we've done well. We've done well in certainly being here this day, and all of yourselves, especially having practiced meditation for some time as well, many of you for many years, a sense of continuing on that. Together we can make a difference. So I think in that way we fulfill something wonderful in the world. Thank you. In the last couple of minutes, any further thoughts or reflections? Brendan?
Yeah, John, I was just reflecting on karma, and it struck me that if everybody truly understood how karma works, then we would all, it just wouldn't make sense not to live a life of care, right? Because we're benefiting others by living carefully, being careful, but we're also benefiting ourselves by generating good karma. So if people actually understood that, then you're doing what's best for yourself as well as everyone else.
So very, very good point, and exactly so. If we did appreciate, understand the workings of karma as fundamental cause and effect, then we'd be more attentive to care and practice in this way. Out of a sense of, well, how could you do anything else? It's just like a self, in a sense, self-preservation.
Yeah, harming yourself by not living with care.
For sure. Beck?
I might echo what Brendan said. I thought I'd just tell this very small story, but I work in a team of people who care for people in the community, and at the start of every shift we get together and kind of set our intention for the day. And one of the other members of the team came to us and said, I just have an announcement, but somebody we looked after last week really enjoyed the care that they received, so they've put a tab at the coffee shop so everyone can go and get a coffee today for free, and they just wanted to say thank you. And then I said, everyone said, oh, that's so nice, that feels so lovely. And so I said, wouldn't it be nice if we just took that lovely feeling and then used that lovely feeling on how we approach all the people that we see today? And then we actually ended up having such a fun shift, and everyone throughout the day came up with these little stories where they were like, oh, I just did this thing for this other person, and it was like a contagious effect. And I just found it a really nice way of thinking.
Wonderful, wonderful. Share the care. And something as easy as that, it can make life so much easier, just a matter of putting it into practice. So there's an idea for everyone. Anything else? Well, hopefully, as we continue developing what we have here, a sense of community, Sangha, with the weekly Thursday night sessions and the monthly or so meditation days here, and maybe also online as well. So it's great that we've had some people connecting from around the place, in time maybe from around the world as well. So to be able to share the care and again be an example for others, and because the more we care and share, then certainly it flows on and can flow all the way around back to us again as well. So we're doing good work, and it's about keeping it up, particularly for yourselves at home, keeping up your regular daily meditation practice and connecting in here as a group when we can. So certainly encourage that, because even by being here, we're supporting each other, not just here for myself, here for oneself, but we're supporting each other in being a group together. The video that from today will be up on the Well Awareness website as a YouTube link to connect into. So if anyone wants to connect back into anything that was mentioned, or to go and do the whole retreat again, you can.
In a couple of days.
In a couple of days.
Edited or uploaded.
Or to share it with someone else. That's good. Also again, the link, the Zoom link is there as well, so that if down the track you can't make it to one of the retreat days, then as long as we do film it, then the Zoom link will be there to connect into. And thank you to our helpers today, which Brendan and Chris and Clint and Justin up the back. Where's everyone?
May.
Oh, May, sorry. My eyes went over.
Always happens.
And Hannah that's been in the background, sort of doing things as well. So thank you, and we'll maybe finish with just a 2-minute sit and settle before we depart. So again, just sitting, settling, relaxing, breathing, allowing ourselves to feel good, caring for ourselves, a good feeling in what we've done, being able to be here, being present, being peaceful, being caring in our connecting, sense of joy in ourself, joy in our life. Sense of well-being, appreciating the worth of our well-being, our life as a human being, living well. And as well, dedicating whatever goodness, wholesome karma, merit you've developed through the course of this day, even sharing that with others. Maybe bringing to mind someone that's important to us, one or a number of people, significant others, and gifting, sharing the goodness, the merit of our day with them, May they receive this gift of good energy, merit. May they be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living their life well. Simply breathing in, breathing out that feeling of goodness, sharing the gift of that good energy with others. And bringing the mind back to consider everyone that's been part of this day, participants, even the people not here just now that have had to leave early, wishing them well. So breathing out that good feeling, breathing out, sharing the good feeling with everyone here, the others that have been part of this day. And as we breathe in, breathing in, receiving that good feeling from others. Breathing out, giving, breathing in, receiving that wonderful gift, shared energy, joy, caring, connectedness. And then bringing our awareness back to ourself, including ourself in that focus. And may I too be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living my life well. An aspiration, gift to ourselves. May I too be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living my life well. May my life be a blessing to others. And when you feel ready to end this short meditation, just taking a deep breath and slowly opening our eyes to finish. Thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you for your shared presence, for your dana, and see you next time. Keep the practice happening.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Thank you to the people on Zoom.
We should.